Look, you can get it on Kindle for $1.98. Get it on Amazon.com. Bookstores everywhere. Guilt by accusation. It is. You do not want to go up against this guy in a court of law. As we learned this week, he tore them to shreds. He's on set with us in Miami, along with former Trump Chief of Staff Reince Priebus. Professor, great job. Take a bow.
Great to see you. How did I give Ted Cruz a B+? What was I thinking? You know, it's blind grading. I didn't know that.
You didn't know that.
But
and an A+ in the second class.
That's easy to explain, but he should have graded me. He was such a good student in that class.
Yeah.
He basically helped me teach it. His hand was up the whole time. He had a point of view about everything.
We played some of the horrible things that have been said about you.
Unbelievable. And, you know, Congressman Schiff has decided he wanted to put me on trial. He's invented something called the Dershowitz Doctrine, which he has lied about systematically. He says, I say a president can do anything as long as he's running for re-election. I started my speech by saying Nixon should have been impeached. He was running, but he committed crimes. The point I was making is if a president has done nothing illegal, the fact that he may have had his eye on re-electability as one factor couldn't turn that into corruption. Everybody agrees with that.
Professor, he's lied to the country for 3 years.
Yeah.
He lied repeatedly. He lied in his memo on Russia collusion. He lied. He knew the facts were different. You know, Lockhart in particular.
Oh, just disgusting.
It was repulsive. It was disgusting. It's going to compare you to Mussolini and Hitler and Stalin?
And they won't have me on against him. They don't have the guts to put me on opposite him. Look, you and I don't agree about it.
He can sit here and I will give you a half hour.
Yeah, okay. You know, I issued a challenge.
Come. You know,
I issued a challenge today to my opponents. Lincoln Douglas type town hall meetings. Debate me.
I'll do it.
Way.
I'll sit there and say, what do you think? What do you think? I'll let you guys go at it.
Okay.
Great job.
Thank you.
I know you're taking a lot of heat. I'm sorry about that. By the way, I've been taking it for 31 years.
I know.
You get used to it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's, through the prism of 277 days from now in the election, is this a big impact or a forgotten memory, Reince Priebus?
Well, I think to the president it's going to be a forgotten memory, but I thought one of the best themes out of the president's defense team was that the Democrats are trying to take the vote away from the American people. And people out there know it. The only reason the president was impeached was because the Democrats had more votes in the House. But if you look at the real clear politics average of President Trump's approval rating, in October of 2019 it was at 41.5% or so. Today's average is at almost 45%. So the average of approval has gone up. Keep in mind, everybody, President Trump's approval rating in 2016 on Election Day was 37, which means he's starting with a plus 7-point advantage in the middle of an impeachment trial. So, look, I think it's not going to hurt the president. I think, in fact, that it shows to the American people how much he's had to put up with for the last 3 years.
And he's going to have to keep putting it up with it because Nancy Pelosi has now pulled a real sharp one. She says even if he's acquitted and vindicated, he's still impeached. He's going to have that label forever. That should not be how it is. Why? He didn't have a fair trial.
Correct.
He was indicted. And what happens if a person is acquitted after an indictment? The indictment disappears.
There was no... I mean, Republicans, Newt Gingrich gave Clinton due process. And I know you were helping Clinton at the time.
Yeah, I was.
But they did give due process. All of that was denied here.
And when you deny somebody due process and say, well, we're only indicting him, then you can't come back and say, but he's still indicted.
So he's really not impeached in your view.
If he wins this, I think nobody should regard him as having been impeached any more than you would regard somebody who was indicted as still being indicted if he won a unanimous 12-person jury acquittal.
A scale of 1 to 10, last question, Reince. Will this help the president down the road? Will people forget? Real quick.
People are going to forget about it, but the people are going to see that a bipartisan group of people rejected impeachment from the beginning, and you're going to see next week the likelihood is that a bipartisan group of people are going to acquit the president.
Well, Reince, thank you. By the way, Professor Dershowitz's book, it's a fascinating